I worked in both sides as hiring manager and also as an employment counselor. So I have a lot of experience in dealing with or supporting newcomers in finding their jobs. So do you see my screen right now, Ahmed?
Yeah, we can see it. I
Okay.
think yeah. If you wanna,
Okay.
yes. Now we're good.
Okay, so again, today we will discuss the hiring process from the perspective of the job seekers. What job seekers do not know about the hiring process. As I said, I'm an HR expert and founder of Prime Canadian Consulting. So we will demystify the hiring process for job seekers. Before we start, I will go through the advertisement of the job postings on different levels and how and where and what's the best platform for employers. I'm now speaking from the perspective of the employer, so that you as a job seeker would know how employers think when they look for candidates. So the first thing that we usually think about is the platform. Which platform should we use? And honestly, we have different platforms, and we started to have some specialized platforms. So in LinkedIn is the most known platform for most professional job seekers. We have also Indeed, which is more common right now among that's the first option among all candidates. And we have the company's websites. And we also have recently, we started to have some specialized websites. For example, in the automotive industry, we have companies working only as platform, job seekers platform, or job boards for automotive industry. And so it applies to different fields. So we have some specialized platforms. So as an employer, the first option we decide is which option should we use, which platform should we use. And we have many criterion that we use to decide which platform should we use. So usually in our company, for example, we use Indeed, commonly used among all job seekers. But in some professions, I prefer LinkedIn. And in other professions, we prefer the specialized platforms. Like, for example, Hire HR is the specialized platform for HR professionals. As I said, we have another I have in 2 or 3 platforms specialized for automotive industries. So it depends on which platform. And the next question is it only the job platforms that we use? It's not. And this is what you as a job seeker should know. There are hidden job markets. We call them hidden job markets, which is basically referrals, network, unadvertised roles, and they are many, by the way. The hidden job market is huge, more than what you can imagine. Basically, because of it depends on the size of the company. Some companies are so small companies; they don't even want to spend money on job postings, so they prefer the network. They prefer the referrals from within, and even in the automotive industry, for example, we encourage other staff to refer other people, and we pay referral bonus, especially for hard to find jobs. We have jobs that are hard to fill, and we know these jobs. To encourage more people and to attract more people, we encourage the staff themselves to refer more people. And this is where you as a job seeker should be looking for. This is Ahmed's role when he advises everyone, or Coach Mo or Samir, or like all the practitioners advise everyone to build your network. This is where you should start building your network for this reason, because the job market, the hidden job market, is actually huge. Final thing is the decoding the job posting. So I'd like everyone from you, please, if you can go to the chatting box and try to give me your feedback. What are the main parts, main sections in a job posting? What are the main sections or parts that you look for when you read a job posting? Please write your answers in the chat box. Okay, so some people, Ahmed said responsibilities. So please, I advise everyone to participate. What do you think are the most important parts or sections in the job postings? Job posting. Okay. Job description. I will clearly differentiate between the job posting and job description. It's a slight difference, but it's important to know the difference. The requirements, job requirements, qualifications for sure, duties, responsibilities, as we said, and experience, skills and competencies. Exactly, experiences. So what kind of experience, qualifications, Location or remote, which is the type of work. Is it remote, which is a major concern right now for everyone, and people ask about this. And most recently, by law, the companies must post the salary or the average for the job posting. This is a new regulations in Ontario. Yeah, actually, all what you said is correct. But only I have to only clarify the difference between job posting and job description. Job description is basically an internal document for the company, which is more detailed than the job posting sometimes, but it's an internal document that you sign when you sign the contract. Job posting is more of attracting more people. So you might find other information, extra information about the company, the benefits, the fringes that you get from the company, which is things that that attracts you to apply for this position. The company is trying to sell itself to the candidate as much as the candidate is selling themselves to the company. Actually, these are the more important parts of the job posting. And I advise you all, before you apply to any position, read the job postings. The problem that I see as an employer, as a hiring manager, people apply without reading. And this is a major concern. I will never consider someone who applied without reading. And how do I know that they didn't read? Actually, from the application. If I have a deal breaker in the application that you must have this to apply, and they applied without having this qualification, this means that they didn't read, or they didn't give any attention to the fine lines or the details. So I advise everyone to read the job posting quite well, because this will lead to the next point, which is how you tailor your job posting, to job application, which is as a recruiter, how I see you, how I don't see you in person. I see the first thing that I see from you is your application. Application is your resume and sometimes the cover letter, which is very important. As a recruiter, I see you. So I need to see a clean, well-tailored resume with keywords. I need to see the duties that I'm looking for. I need to see that you have done these jobs. I don't want to say misunderstand. One myth, let's say one myth, especially for newcomers, is that they can say, I can do this job. When I post for a job, I'm not looking for someone who can do the job. I'm looking for someone who is the most fit for this job, who can do the best in this job, who can excel in this job, which is very important. Not because you can do these duties, you are qualified for this job. And this is very important. I'm talking to you right now from the perspective of an employer, from the hiring manager perspective, so that you understand when you tailor your resume, you have to show me that you did this job before and you can do this the best way. Okay, so it's very important. When I see the resume, I see a clean, very tailored and well-organized resume. The second thing that I'm looking for always is the ATS, applicant tracking system. Be mindful. Many companies, or most companies, especially when you receive a rejection email quickly. I just applied and just received the rejection email. Most probably these companies are using ATS, applicant tracking systems. No one looks at your resume. And this is the critical reason why you must tailor your resume, because of the applicant tracking systems. Because the systems, there are two ways. The original way, which is keywords. Systems are looking for keywords. So we usually advise people to use the same keywords that the job posting is using. Most recently, they started to use AI, not only the keywords, but more of the algorithm, and IT people can explain this better than me. They started to use some algorithms to screen people. And I will show you now, even in Ontario, we have a new regulation that companies which use AI must disclose this in their job posting, which is very important for us as applicants. You would know that this company is using AI, this company is using applicant tracking system, whatever, to screen people. So this is very important for you. So when you tailor your resume, you have to make sure that you use the right keywords. You show that you can do these qualifications, these jobs. So these are the keywords that you have to include in your resume. And all my panel members, of course, if you have anything to add, please interrupt at any time and give us your valuable thoughts in any of these points I'm talking about. Okay, so again, applicant tracking system.
Let's give you maybe a break, Ahmed. I know you've been anxious to deliver this, but let's maybe, to your point, give a chance for others to ask questions.
Sure, exactly.
I think I have a question, but again, if anyone else has a question, maybe that would be open as well. So, does it matter, if I should know if the company uses an ATS or not, or should I not bother about this? Should I just, assume it has an ATS and do my homework based on the ATS and apply accordingly? What do you think is the best approach here?
Yes, exactly, Ahmed. This is a very interesting question. I advise all my clients to assume that the company is doing the ATS, and also to assume that the company is looking for a cover letter. When they say, I don't know, should I submit a cover letter or not? I don't know, should I tailor my resume according to ATS system or not? I would recommend that you do this in any case. It doesn't harm, and also it makes more benefit than harm. So if they are looking for the keywords, they will find. If they are looking for a cover letter, they will find. If you don't need, it's okay. I will. If I'm not looking for a cover letter and I find one, I can disregard it and I look at the resume. And the same applies to ATS. Using the keywords is important, whether they are using it or not. But I'm just telling the candidates that as an extra protection layer in Ontario, companies have to declare that they are using AI in their job postings or not. Okay.
And where can we find this? Normally, is it in the job description that they have to declare, or?
Yes, they will put this in the job posting. It's coming in the next slide. Some of the new regulations in Ontario. I will show you what the new regulations in Ontario about the job posting is. Now Ontario is now creating or drafting a new law for the protect workers for working for workers. It's all about protecting the candidates and ensuring that they are aware before they apply. They have all information before they apply. Even the salary has to be posted. It's coming in the next slide.
Ahmed, I have a question on the
Yes.
ATS and observation for Ahmed, Neil, and Samer together. You work with a lot of candidates. Have you guys noticed that LinkedIn is now having some sort of ATS provided to the employers? Because I'll tell you how I discovered that. I didn't know, and that's why I'm looking for confirmation from you guys. You apply for let's say 10 jobs. Let's say you get 3 rejections, 3 different companies. The rejection content is exact same.
The same.
Among the 3 companies, and it couldn't be unless LinkedIn is doing that layer on behalf of the companies that are advertising, like as a service, right, for them. Otherwise, how would 3 companies agree on the exact same word to word of the rejection letter or email?
I think, Coach Mo, that's my input. I don't know. It could be if they are applying on LinkedIn, that this could be one of the reasons. But they might be using at the back end could be the same ATS, which is using the same wording, regardless of in LinkedIn. So are you speaking about someone who applies as an easy application on LinkedIn?
Yeah, through LinkedIn.
Okay.
They never went to
the. They are using LinkedIn.
Website. Yeah, they're working LinkedIn only. Yes.
I haven't seen this.
But I haven't heard officially that LinkedIn provides the employers that post on their platform an ATS service, right? Like as an added value service.
But I think it makes sense because the LinkedIn is giving this option to the applicants to check their to match their resume with the job posting. So like it makes sense that they give this to the employer. But Samer maybe has something to add.
Yeah, if I may add something here. So when job applicant is applying through LinkedIn, LinkedIn is kind of a second layer before the employer. So mostly the job seeker will be exposed to 2 filters, 2 ATS system, one ATS system for LinkedIn and the other ATS system for the employer themselves. If they got screened out by the level of LinkedIn, then they will receive the automated email from LinkedIn, or they will reach the employer. The thing that LinkedIn is very popular website now, and each job probably is receiving, and we might see this counting sometimes, like 17,000 applications. If LinkedIn provides 17,000 application to the employer, then employer don't want to deal with LinkedIn. It's too much load for them. So they want filtered. Of course, LinkedIn is filtering the number, sending probably maybe 400, 200 only to the employer. So that's 2 filters. Mr. Ahmed, I have a question. If you give us something from hands, please. So how does the job seeker validate that their resume is ATS. Is there a tool that you can
sure.
advise for this? Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sure. There are many ways, and you, Samer, maybe like have your add your thoughts as well. There are many free websites that you can use to scan your resume compared to the job posting. They ask you to copy and paste the job posting and copy and paste your resume, and they will do the matching, and they will give you the percentage of your matching. You can even use, if you have a ChatGPT or whatever, any AI system, you can ask them to act as an ATS. So you can have a prompt to ask. Maybe Ahmed can give more details about this. So mashallah, I know Ahmed has a lot of experience in this. So you can ask ChatGPT to act as an ATS and compare your the job posting to your resume, and they will give you a percentage. And based on this, you can tailor your resume, add few words, change one of your wordings, make it more of action-oriented resume than achievement-oriented than action-oriented, and so on. So I can give you an example. JobScan, for example, is one of the free websites that you can use. I think they give you up to 5 scans that you can make. If you are not using ChatGPT or any AI system, you can use these websites. Jobscan.ca, I think. Let me check. I think it's jobscan.ca.
Yeah, no, JobScan is one of the
not
websites.
CA, sorry, CO. Is it CO or CA, Ahmed?
Jobscan.com, I guess, or CO, maybe CO.
CO, jobscan.co. If you try jobscan.co, you can get a free version, and you can compare your resume to the job posting. Also, resume or cover letter, they can do the scanning for your resume and cover letter.
Yeah, I know that, ATS has multiple versions, and depending on which version the company is using, that could be tricky a little bit. So, again, what I think is you try your best to match as much as you can, but there is no real tool that can tell you 100% that you can pass the ATS. So just again, to avoid any, extra effort just to master this, there is nobody can master this, unfortunately.
Exactly. Totally agree. And also, I think Ahmed has made a lot of sessions about this. You can have even the format of your resume. There are formats that are ATS friendly formats. So we have to use bullet points, don't use pictures, don't use like a lot of formatting in your resume and so on. So this is a different topic, but again, it's very important to know how to make your resume ATS friendly. Okay?
Cool, yeah.
Any questions before we proceed?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, is there a compatibility score that we have to keep in mind? For example, 80%, 85% ATS compatible or more?
Again, as Ahmed said, no one can know, no one can tell, because it's an internal. Usually, it's an internal information, and some companies might put a lot of weight on some qualifications than others. We don't know. You do your best as much as you can, as 95% or even more, if you can do this as much as you can. Ahmed, you have any other
No, I think just to avoid getting in a loophole here that would take us long time to master. I think the best way is to network with the hiring manager. This will provide you the best way to crack in, rather than just trying to master the ATS, because it's a tough battle, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I have some I'll speak a little bit about this. Okay, so so again, which comes to the cover letter. As Ahmed said, we discussed this already. So do I have to submit a cover letter or not? Should I submit a cover letter or not? It's recommended to submit the cover letter anyways. Even if they don't ask, there is no harm. It's better to submit the cover letter. And by the way, so I have a different approach to cover letters, completely different approach. People submit a cover letter like a letter, real letter. One of the very few, the most important interviews that I received were based on a cover letter my cover letter, which was completely different. I used a table format cover letter, which was a very unique. And even the interviewer told me this is unique. I haven't seen this before. So you can search for the table format cover letters, in which you can put the qualifications, the important qualifications or experience, and show your experience or qualifications relevant to this in a table format. This might not be common, but it's used. You can use this. But the common way is to write a letter as if it's a real common letter format. Okay. So again, submit a cover letter or not, it's better to submit a cover letter. Word format or PDF format, another discussion. People prefer the PDF format, because the PDF format will not change even if you if you submit a Word format. When they open the Word on their computer, they might the formatting might be mixed. So people prefer to submit PDF format. And sometimes in the job posting themselves, they will advise you to submit PDF or Word file. Okay, so these are the new regulations in Ontario. I will go through them quickly, but we can have more discussion at the end if you wish. It's about Working for Workers Act in 2024. The first one here is the AI usage disclosure. The employer must disclose and publicly advertise job postings if the AI is used to screen or assess or select applicants. Of course, another important part is the compensation transparency. They must include the expected compensation or range at least. Another point is it a vacancy or a pool? So especially this used to happen with government. They used to create a pool of candidates. They don't have a job vacancy right now, but they are creating a pool. When they need someone, they can pick from this pool. So the job posting must indicate clearly, is it a pool or a vacancy? Okay. And another point, which is even in our work right now, we must do this. We started to communicate with the interviewed applicants. Even if they are not hired, we have to let them know that they are not selected. Okay. And retention of the records must be retained at least now. Okay. This applies to companies which have more than 25 employees. If you need more information, you can read about the Working for Workers Act, or we can discuss this at the end in the discussion Q&A session. Any questions? Okay, so let's proceed. It's very important to highlight this quote. It's hard skills might get you the interview, which is great, but the soft skills will get you the job. And this is important because from now on, we'll start speaking a little bit about the interviews, starting with the phone interview, phone screening. Phone screening is the first layer of screening or selection in most of the companies. And sometimes we do 2 phone screening calls before we proceed to the in-person interview. If we have many candidates, I prefer to do a phone screening before I decide to interview 2 or 3 people. Like I give you an example. I had a job posting for an HR professional. I received more than 300 applicants. We made phone screening for 6 candidates. We interviewed 3. So you can tell phone screening is very, very important. But why do we have this phone screening? Basically, the first thing is that we like to confirm and assess and evaluate the basic interest of this person, the basic skills, communication skills, their professionalism, and we can tell if those people really their communication is really acceptable or not through the phone screen. And the recruiters, I had a recruiter who used to give me feedback from the first few seconds in the interview on the phone screen. He would say this person is not gonna pass because of what? Communication style, professionalism, precise and accurate responses to the questions. But what are the typical questions? Let's do another quick activity. Also in the chat, please, if you would like to write 1 or 2 questions that you think are very important and typical questions in the interviews, in the phone interviews, phone screening. What do you think are the most typical? Okay, salary expectations for sure. And I will give you some insights about the salary expectations after we finish this discussion. So one is salary expectations, experience, of course. People, I'd like everyone to participate, please. So what are the common or typical questions in a phone interview? If you must have already received some phone interviews. What were the very common questions that you had? First, tell me about yourself. It's a very common question. And as we said, the answer to this question must be in the framework of the job posting, in light of the job posting. Don't speak about yourself as the best person in the world, but you are not relevant to the job posting. You have to show yourself in relation to the job posting. Commuting the location, exactly. This is very important. Are you able to commute to this location every day or not? Because it's workplace environment, office environment. Certifications, for sure. Certifications, usually I see the certifications in the resume, but I'd like to hear from you. Most of the time in the phone interview, they would ask you to speak because they'd like to evaluate your communication skills. Also, why did you apply? Why are you interested in our company? What do you know about our company? This question, some people would ask, why a company would ask about why I'm interested in the company. I might not be interested in the company. If you're not interested, if you don't show you're interested in my company, why would I hire you? If you don't show that you have the same values as my company, why would I hire you? So it's very important that you show your interest in the company and the relationship or the how your values match with the values of the company. For example, Samer said he has been working with non-profit organizations and a lot of and I worked for non-profit organizations. One of the reasons I apply for a job, a non-profit organization, for example, I'd like to serve the community, and I know that your company or your organization is helping newcomers, and I'd like to pay back to my community, and so on. This is how you match your values to the values of the organization. What are your expectations? It's a generic question. What kind of expectations? Is it like job expectations? Is it the salary expectations? Could be salary expectations. Where do you live? Because again, it's about commuting, about relocating. Because sometimes we know someone is applying from Ontario, but it's like a Scarborough, for example. Are they willing to relocate, or are they looking for a remote job, for example? Are you working right now? Why did you especially in a phone interview, never speak badly about your former employer, because this will give a bad impression about you, not about them. Okay, so if it comes to your employer, even if you had bad relationship with them, try to reply politely and professionally about the former employer. Don't speak badly about your former employer. This is very important. Again, part-time or full-time is very important that for part-time or full-time. Willingness to relocate or not. Do you need assistance relocating or not? You might be surprised they offer you a relocation package, which is part of the negotiation that we will speak at the end of the presentation. This is actually great. All these questions are very great and are common questions for phone interviews. Again, the basic reason why they have a phone interview to initially evaluate your communication skills, your fitness to the company, to verify that you have the right skills and the right experience. Okay, so these are typical questions for phone screening. Again, Samer, Ahmed, Coach Mo, if you'd like to interrupt me at any time, please feel free, and so that I can take my breath.
Okay, that being said, I'll just comment on
sure.
Why are you leaving the company? You already touched on that. I always advise people to speak from the future, not from the past. Like, answer this question from the future you're stepping into. Forget about the past so that you don't fall into maybe bad mouthing something about the old employer.
Great.
Say you're looking for a new challenge. You've plateaued where you are, so now you're looking for more challenges or something like that. Speak about the future.
Thank you so much, Coach Mo. Thank you. And again, these are parts of the. Sorry, Sam, go ahead.
Sorry, I'll just add small thing. This question is, as you mentioned, is very important, but sometimes some of the HR manager are using them as a screening question. So I would like to alert job seekers to be careful when you answer some of these questions. It might be a deal breaker. And this reminds me was sometimes in the GCC area. The first question was, do you have a sponsorship transfer? If you say no, or I will speak with my sponsor, then it's a deal breaker.
Right.
You always need to say, yes, I can get it. So you can step to the next step and have the interview, and then you can manage other things.
Sure, I totally agree, and that's what I said when I make a phone interview for 6 people. I interviewed 2 people only or 3 people only, because as you said, some people were screened out from the phone interview, and it's common, and that's why we have the phone screening. Because I'm not gonna meet with 6 people. I hope I can meet with the 6 people, but usually we screen them out so that we can meet with the smallest number of employees, and this is very important for candidates, for job seekers. Always put yourself in their shoes. They are busy. I don't have time to meet 300 people. I don't have time to meet 5 people even. I have only time to meet 2 people, for example. So make sure that you are one of those 2 people. Okay, this is very important. And some of the pitfalls, as Samer said, is that you don't consider the phone screening as important as it is. It is really important. And some of the pitfalls is that you take the phone screening phone call in the street, while commuting, in your car. No, make sure that you have a quiet place. Make sure that there's no distraction. Make sure that you are focused. consider this as a real in-person, as if you are in a real in-person interview. It's very important, because if you fail in this step, you're not going to move to the next step. You're not going to have the in-person interview. Okay.
Ahmed, also on this one, you mentioned about taking the phone on the street, right? Some of us, they feel compelled that they have to answer right now and take the call right now. They're scared to tell the caller, I don't think it's going to work for us right now. There is a lot of noise in the background. I would appreciate if we can reschedule that to X, Y, and Z. And if they're calling you and keen on you, talking to you and screening you, they're not going to say, no, we're not going to call you again, or you feel like you have lost your chances. No, they will appreciate that, because they're human beings just like us, and they know things happen to people in the background. They want to give you a chance to succeed. Agree.
I totally agree. And again, it's better than losing the opportunity is that if you reschedule the time for the interview. Okay, this is the phone screening, which is very important, as we said. Now we come to the interview process. As I said from the beginning, I'm trying to walk you through the interview process from inside, as an employer or as a hiring manager. Interviews could be the real, actual interviews. Phone interviews is the first step, is usually a phone screening, first initial screening. The actual interview could be Zoom or or Teams, whatever, or any online platform, or could be a panel of 2 or 3 people. Usually, it's highly recommended that there would be an odd number, 3 people, so that we don't have like a tie. So we usually I ask people to have 3 people to interview as a panel. Or sometimes we have a technical interview, like the soft skills, the HR. Some people call it HR interview, and the technical interview. Technical interview is mostly, it's like an assessment of your technicalities or technical skills. Okay. So for the interview itself, there are 2 main categories or classes of interviews or types of interviews: structured interviews versus unstructured interviews. The structured interviews, especially in big companies, you will find like all the panel members have their own sheets. In these sheets, there are standard questions that you have to ask every candidate the same questions, so that you can compare apple to apple. You cannot compare apple to banana. So you have the same questions. You ask all the candidates the same questions, and you evaluate their performance in answering these questions, and you give them marks. And then at the end, the panel will meet and decide the average, or whatever the style or the method of marking or evaluating. So these are structured interviews. On the other side, there are some unstructured interviews, and you might have seen this, especially with small-sized companies. Only one owner, they would meet with anyone and have like a little bit informal interview. They would ask you a few questions, and then they would say, okay, we'll call you back. There's no standard questions for everyone. There is no standard way of evaluation. Usually for small or small-sized companies, one-man show usually. Okay, but we, as a professional company, big company, we usually have the structured interviews, which is more fair to all the candidates. Which comes to
Ahmed,
yes,
Ahmed, I just want to back up a second. Sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
Just on the phone interview thing. So the problem with phone interviews is they can't see you, so you lose a lot of the body language communication that occurs. So you have to make it up yourself. You have to be really cognizant about how you're going to say things. It's not just what you say; it's how you do things. So it's been proven that if you stand, you have more energy, you think better, you can be more pleasant. Second of all, I've had a lot of phone interviews. If I found personally that if I think of these people as really good friends I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm really excited to be talking to them, that's how, if you're a happy, nice person who smile when you're on the phone, that actually comes through the phone.
Right.
So pretend that these are people that you've known for a long time. You're so happy to hear from them because you haven't talked to them. It's natural for people when somebody's that enthusiastic that you feel really great that you're talking to them. So that just puts you in a much better position, because these HR recruiters, they're people as well, and they want to be liked just like everybody else. And so the more you can be enthusiastic, the more that comes across as your enthusiasm to be with the company and for the role itself.
Sure.
Okay, so that's, you just sit there and you talk in a monotone the whole time. That is what they're judging you on. They can't see your enthusiastic face, and how happy you are. So you've got to make up for that in some way.
I agree.
Thanks, Ahmed.
Sure, I agree, and I can give you an example. I used to work in a call center, and they used to teach us before you take a call. Some call centers would put a mirror in front of the agent. They would ask them before you take any call, look to yourself in the mirror and smile, because this smile will be reflected on your voice tone and your enthusiasm. And and I can tell from my experience, we can see the enthusiasm over the phone. I totally agree.
Definitely, you can. Definitely.
Sure. And this leads to the evaluation process. Again, if it's a structured and unstructured interview, this will make the decision on the evaluation. Many ways to evaluate. Usually we have like a matrix. All the items of all the questions, and every question would be given a mark from 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, and then you take the average. If it's a structured approach, we have an interview guide where we describe the evaluation process even. And again, that's why we advise that we have a panel of 3 so that we don't have a tie. Okay. So, but if it's unstructured, it would basically rely on the person's intuition or the interviewer's discretion or his own evaluation. Okay. Anything to add, our panel members, before we proceed? We're good?
Oh, we're good. I think we just need to stop, before the hour, top of the hour, Ahmed, just to take the selfie. Maybe we can, stay longer after that, if you would like.
Okay, sure, Ahmed, for sure.
Also, Ahmed, I dropped you a note in the chat. You feel free to respond to it at your convenience.
Maybe we can take this at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it at the end. No problem. Back to the hiring decision. So, which is very important right now. We have the interview, everyone was interviewed. Who makes the decision, or how we make the decision for the hiring? Many approaches again, but many stakeholders decide the hiring. And that's why, as a candidate, you should know this so that you don't become discouraged or like demotivated when you apply and you don't get selected, because it's not your fault. It could be like a process in the company. It could be like different reasons. One of the criteria we use to decide on the candidate is the balance of skills, culture fit, and attitude. It's not only skills. People think I am the best person, I'm the best project manager. Why didn't they select me? Maybe because of the attitude, maybe because of the tone when you were interviewed. Maybe they thought that you are arrogant, you're not a good fit for the company culture. And this is honestly, people make decisions based on the company culture. And the decision to hire or even fire is basically based on the company culture. I had some people who were the most skilled candidate. Let's speak about automotive. I had the most skilled technicians who were terminated just because they are not a good fit for the company. So make sure that you show you are a good fit for this company. Read about the company, about the culture of the company. As Ahmed said, build a network with the hiring manager or even people from the same company. You can get a sense of the culture in this company by relating or connecting to different people in the company. So make sure you have the right skills. You show that you could be a good fit for this culture, and your attitude would match the company culture as well. Also, the decision to hire is not one person's decision. It could be multiple stakeholders. So it's not your fault that one of the stakeholders did not like you more than others, or did not see that you are a good fit more than others. So it's out of your control. So again, it's not only one person's decision. If it's a panel, it's 3 persons' decision. It's not one person's decision. So this is one way that we take the decision. Could be the hiring manager, their manager, and even the HR. 3 people are interviewing the candidate. HR is looking for the soft skills. Hiring manager is looking for the technical skills. The manager of the manager is looking for both, for example. So you have to show that you have all these skills. And again, sometimes the best resumes does not always win. Why? Because it's your battle to shine in the interview, to show that you are the best fit. Not only that you have the highest skills, you also have the best culture fitness, the best attitude, and the best qualifications that match this job. So I think this is the last topic in our presentation, which is very important. Now you got the interviews, phone interview, phone screening, and the interview. And sometimes we have a second round of interview, by the way. So some people would invite you for another interview. This is common, no problem, especially if it's a high level company, it's a high profile company. And some people even would ask you to fill out or respond to a character assessment. Sometimes they will send you a link to respond to a character assessment or a profile, a psychometric test, for example. So it's common, so don't worry. And honestly, I've seen something which is, I believe, is not the right practice. Some people would invite you to a working day interview. This is not common. I don't advise anyone to do this, but some people do it. Some companies do it. If you are asked to do this, I wouldn't advise you to do it, because if they don't pay, this is free labor. If they pay you, this is your starting date. This is a legal case. I would not advise anyone to work as a working day interview. Okay, but again, back to the same point, which is now you are hired. Now they started to send you an offer. What can I negotiate and how can I negotiate? So the first question, what's negotiable? And I'd like you, everyone, also to go to the chat box and write down what you think is negotiable, what you can negotiate when you receive a job offer. What can you negotiate? Give me your thoughts. What do you think you can negotiate and what you think you can't? Okay, of course, benefits, bonus, signing bonus, which is very important. Like I will show you the difference between bonus and signing the bonus. If newcomers, some people do not know. Starting date, salary, for sure. The job title, okay, sometimes you can ask for a change of the job or like tailoring the job title, but most of the time it's difficult because of the company policy sometimes. The percentage, okay. The vacations, for sure. PTO. Samir, what's PTO? What do you mean by PTO?
Vacations, pay time off.
Pay time off.
Oh, the pay time off. Okay. So, okay. The personal leaves, vacations. Okay. Right. Pay time off, right? Okay. What else? Actually, all this is true and correct. Many things that people do not imagine that we can negotiate, and I will give you more details. So things that you think are for granted, no, you can negotiate. Starting from, as Ahmed said, some people said, even the starting date could be negotiable. Type of work, hybrid work or remote, hybrid work, remote work or on-site. It's negotiable, okay? Even with some company which would say work on-site. That's like a deal breaker. When you take the job and you negotiate, you can get 1 or 2 days off, like working from home, but it's negotiable. It's something that you can negotiate. Starting date, for sure. So many things, all the things that you said are negotiable. Salary, vacations, hybrid work options, and even professional. This is important. Even professional development funds. Do you have professional development? Would you pay for my designation? These are things that you can negotiate. And also benefits. Benefits are usually a standard benefits for the company. But with the higher positions, management position, executive team, you can have more power to negotiate the benefits. Okay, and even I did this myself for some new hires, which is they negotiate. You can negotiate the effective date of the benefits, which means usually people would give you the benefits after 3 months, right? But you can negotiate having the benefits from day one. This is negotiable, and this is easy. By the way, for your information, this is easy for the companies because it's just like communication with the insurance company. It's not a big problem. As long as you pay your premium and they pay the premium, you can start from day one. Okay, this is very important because some people, when you move from one company to another, you lose 3 months without any benefits, without any coverage. But if you raise this concern to the company, you can ask them to start the benefits from day one. Okay, this is very important. Back to the title. I think Ahmed raised the negotiation about title. I can give you an example, very recent example. Actually, he was a staff member who came to me for advice. He said, Ahmed, I have a job offer from another company. I will have to leave, but I have a problem with them regarding the job title. And after the negotiation, I can tell you that they give him a director title, not the manager title. At the beginning, they offered him a job of a manager. There was a problem. I unfortunately I cannot say what the problem was. But after negotiation, they agreed to give him a higher level, which is a director position, than the manager position. So even the title could be negotiable. Although the titles are standard in the companies, but it's also negotiable that you can negotiate the title. So again, you can negotiate the title, the starting date. Of course, you can negotiate the starting date. The benefits, the type of the benefits, the work perks, the fringes, or even the effective date of the starting date of these benefits. Type of job, even one you can even if it's an on-site job, you can negotiate having a 1 day from home, for example. You can, of course. Professional development. Funding can be important. You can ask for professional development. You can ask for paying your professional designation, especially if the designation is related to the job you are applying for. Okay. Any questions? Hybrid and negotiable as to how often you have to be in the office. Exactly. Even the how often you should be in the office could be a part of the negotiation.
Ahmed, I think we'll
the time off you can negotiate. Sorry, Ahmed, go ahead.
No, I just want to tell you, maybe if you want to proceed with your slides, and then we'll take all the questions after the selfie, so that folks can take time to ask questions.
Okay. So last thing about the negotiation is the vacation. You can negotiate how many days, and you can negotiate how many days are paid, how many days are unpaid, or like even partially paid, whatever. Yeah. So you can get the paid time off negotiated, whether you bank the vacation pay or whether you take the vacation pay. But this is easy to negotiate. Again, how to ask for this and how to take time to decide. Usually, I would, and this is even a legal requirement that the company must send you the offer and give you some time to consider your offer. So you can simply send a note to the company or the hiring manager. Thank you so much for your offer. I'm really excited, and I would love to take some time to review and come back with my questions, or few questions if I have any. So you give yourself, you confirm that you received the offer. You give yourself some time to consider the offer, or even to think about how you would ask for these extra benefits, how you can show that you actually like, which is important. How can I show that I need this, or this benefit is important for me? Simply, you can say, for example, let's go back to the benefit side, asking that the benefits should start from day one. You can simply say, I'm very happy to accept your offer. However, I have been working in my current company for a while, and I have my current insurance, and I have, for example, 2 or 3 kids, and I cannot afford to fall short for 3 months without coverage. So can I ask, would it fit for the company if I ask for starting my benefits from day one? Because this is very important to make sure that I have like a work-life balance so that I can give more to my workplace. This is a better way to offer your experience, offer your accept the offer, and then start negotiation and show the rationale behind the request that you submitted. For example, if the company is offering you 2 weeks, while the current company is offering you 3-4 weeks, it doesn't make. You can say, unfortunately, I will be losing 2 weeks, and like it's a lot of time for me because I have to travel with my kids. Can you please extend the time off to 3 or 4 weeks other than 2? It's preferable that you present your rationale behind this offer or the request for extension of the benefits. Finally, before we move from the negotiation, any questions or any of the panel members would like to add anything about the negotiation before we move on?
I think we'll leave it after the selfie, Ahmed, because we want to.
So we're done.
Yeah. If
the
you're
last
done,
thing, this is my last slide, which is about after the interview. What do you do after the interview? So again, it's highly recommended that you send the thank you email within the first 24 hours after the interview. You mention something specific that you enjoyed. For example, you can say I enjoyed speaking about the values of the company and how the values of the company match my skills. I enjoyed working for the new challenge, or speaking about the new future projects that you have, and I would like to show how much I would be a good fit for these projects and how much I can contribute to these projects, and so on. Something specifically enjoyable for you that you enjoyed during the conversation or during the interview. Okay. Again, it's good if you can follow up in 1 or 2 weeks. It's not a problem. But again, don't be pushy. Some people would send an email every day, every 2 days they would send an email. Don't be pushy because again, people are busy and they might even have selected someone and they are trying just to like to organize themselves and tell you that you have not been selected. Or maybe they have selected you, but they are waiting for the final confirmation from the executive team. For example, you don't know what's happening inside the kitchen. Okay, so don't be pushy and try to be polite and at the same time also professional. Follow up respectfully, and again, silence, which is if you don't hear back from them, you can handle this professionally in a couple of days or 1 or 2 weeks maximum. Finally, as a final thought, it's again, customize your resume, communicate well, even during the interview, communicate well, show your best communication skills, show your attitude, positive attitude, and also, of course, follow up after the interview. This is very important. And remember that the job search is a campaign, not a one-time effort. And Ahmed has been telling you about this, and he has a lot of statistics and numbers that can show you how much your job search is a campaign rather than a one-time effort or one-time job. So please, also everyone, I'd like to invite everyone to connect. You can send me an email, ahmed@primecan.ca, or you can connect via LinkedIn, and I will send my profile link on the chat box right now. Thank you so much. And after the selfie, I will be more than happy to take any question.
Thank you, Ahmed. If you can stop sharing so that we can take the
Sure.
selfie, and then we'll open up for Q&A. I personally have, multiple questions, and I
Sure.
definitely want to get those questions answered, but let's take the selfie. So if you guys want to have the courage to open your camera and be a celebrity for this call, this is your time to shine and, be part of this amazing group. So I'll give it maybe a few more seconds. If some more folks have the courage, then we'll take the selfie. Okay, so a few more seconds. Anyone want to join? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and smile. Okay, smile. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ahmed. This was amazing. I
Thank you,
learned a
Ahmed.
lot, to be honest. Definitely
Thank you,
a
my
ton of
friend.
wisdom, ton of expertise, and lots of insights. Too many things that I really didn't know before.
Thank you.
And I have a few questions, but I'll let the folks first ask their question, then I'll ask mine.
Sure.
So I think
I have posted my LinkedIn profile. If anyone would like to connect, I'd be more than happy to connect with everyone.
awesome. So guys, please raise your hand so that we can take turns on the questions, and hopefully get your questions answered. Okay, maybe until everybody warms up, I'll ask you a few questions, Ahmed. So
Yes, go ahead, Ahmed.
if the candidate has ADHD, and this is something that some people now unfortunately are struggling with, what would be the best approach to, should they declare this to the HR folks and tell them from the beginning that they have ADHD problems or some kind of, let's say, mental health problems maybe, or should they not declare this because they may not get disqualified only because of that? What is the best approach here?
This is a very critical, I would not say problem, but critical issue for many reasons. Honestly, myself, I don't mind ADHD, whatever. I mind doing the job. If you're doing the job well, you're good. But if you're not doing the job, this is the problem. So disclosing the ADHD or disclosing any mental disability from the beginning could have a value added in terms of the legalities, but could be one reason why you are disqualified without even telling you. Okay, so you will not know. You will never know. Okay, and even if you challenge the decision, you will not be able to prove it. Okay, so it's critical, and I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend, honestly. I had someone before that I hired. I had many people hired with ADHD. Some people we kept them although they had ADHD, and I have someone until now, and he clearly says that he has ADHD, and we all know. But he's doing his job the best way. He's using the benefit of ADHD in the energy, the activity that he has. But on the other side, I had someone. I discovered that they had ADHD, but they are not doing the job. I don't care about ADHD as long as you're doing the job. If you're not doing the job, here is the point where you might be terminated without telling you that this is the reason. So I would recommend that you use your ADHD for your benefit. How? I can tell you, I have an example of someone who is declaring everywhere that he has ADHD, but he's making use of this energy to do a better job, to find creative ideas. I don't mind if he's doing the job while standing or while sitting down. It doesn't matter as long as he's doing the job. Okay. But again,
just a quick
this back
comment
to
on
the mental health. Sorry, coach. Just one comment, and then Coach Mahmoud can comment. So back to the mental issues. Mental issues are very rampant right now, are very common. I have mental issues with most of the staff or most of the candidates even. So again, as long as these mental issues are not like does not have an impact, I'm talking to you from a practical point of view. If this does not have any impact on my job, I don't care as professionally. But again, the only problem is that if this is proven against the company, you can retain a lawyer and you can claim discrimination for sure. By law, you can claim discrimination if you can prove that you have been discriminated because of your mental issues. Okay, Coach Mo, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. So on the legal issue, Ahmed, I don't know if you're aware, you cannot be denied a job because you have disability.
Sure.
You cannot be released from a job because you have disability. In fact, the law requires the employer to do accommodation for anybody who's disabled or who is ill and all the stuff to the means reasonable by the company, right? So that's just to put a framework.
This is called Ahmed, this is called undue hardship. So the company has to accommodate to the level where it becomes undue hardship, that the company cannot accommodate anymore.
Understood. Thank you. Samer, do you have a question or comment?
I will just quickly comment. I really encourage any job seeker to declare their current status, whether they have a disability or not. This is also helping the employer to accommodate their needs. And the right of accommodation is definitely the right of the job seeker. They can demand for certain conditions during the interview and also during the application process. At the end, sorting the candidates, it should be based on only 3 criteria: the education, qualification, skills, and experience. That's it. So we should not be looking at other things otherwise than supporting the applicant to complete their work. And this is part of the Ontario Act to assure accessibility and fair opportunity for all the job seekers.
So again, legally, Ahmed, mental problems are a kind of disability. Addiction is a kind of disability by law. So an employer must accommodate to the level of undue hardship.
Thank you, Ahmed. I think Zayed, you have your hand raised. Go ahead, please.
Hello, everyone. So my question is, how important is it to do networking or to get referral from someone in order to get like an interview or a job in that company? How important is it?
Yeah, I will give my thoughts, and then all the panel members are welcome to give their thoughts. It's extremely important. It's very, very important. But there is one important element, which is network can give you like the chance to present yourself in an interview, but cannot guarantee you that you will take the job, which is very important. It's not nepotism. The newcomers would think, oh, this is like network is nepotism. It's favoritism. No, it can get you the time to get the interview, which is great, which is what we are looking for, to go for the interview. It's your job to make sure that you get the job based on your soft skills in the interview. So networking is very important, and there are hundreds of techniques that Ahmed has already discussed before. We can even discuss later on about the building network, and he shared some insights about building your network and connecting with people. And again, in some hard to find jobs, the only way to hire is referrals. I can tell you, for example, in a mechanic as a mechanic position, it's difficult to find a mechanic, so we offer the referral bonus to the staff to refer people, and we offer signing bonus for the technicians to start with us. So we pay to people rather than paying to the job boards, because job boards are not effective in this way. People are more effective. Network is very, very effective, but again, try to build the network that will help you. Don't just go and connect with anyone on LinkedIn. Connect with people who are similar to you, who have the same skills, who are working in the company that you are targeting. And I think Ahmed discussed this before. You can build your network with people working in the company that you would like to target or work for. Yeah, be my guest, Ahmed or Samir or the coach or Neil, if you'd like to add something.
Yeah, so I'm really huge on the networking part, the spray and pray method on LinkedIn, where you're just firing resumes in. You're just one of a million other people. I've gotten almost pretty much every job I've received has been through networking, and it bumps you ahead of almost everybody else because they're advocating that you're a good fit for the organization. When you talk about the mental health, this is another great way, is if they're telling you like, yep, you would fit, they would also provide you with great information as to whether you would be able to excel in the organization based on your personality too. They can provide you a lot of information as to what the culture is beyond what you're seeing on that job description, which is every job description is like your first date. They try to put their best foot forward. It's a great way to research the organizations to make sure that what you're going to put in for, because you're going to be doing this 40-hour plus a week. You want to make sure you're in the right role because you want to excel in that role. So people who think that all you're supposed to do is apply to things on LinkedIn, you're really going down the wrong path. You really got to make an effort. And like Ahmed said, is try to network with people that are connected to the types of roles you want to do, the places you want to work, etc. The more research you have, the inside research, the better off you are.
And I'd like to add something, because I had this problem with someone who tried to connect with me, and I connected them with one person inside the company. I did my job to connect them. The problem is that this one was not reasonable in their requests. Your request with anyone that you connect for is kind of coaching and support. Do not ask them to invite you for interview. Don't ask them to give you like an advantage because you have connected with them. What you need from them is only advice. Maybe send your resume to them to ask for their feedback, or they can help you tailor your resume or give you some insights into what you can do in your resume. That's all what you need. Don't ask them to, please, I need this job. You cannot ask, please give me this job, please recommend me for this job. They can't. Their job is to help you and maybe support you by helping you tailor your resume or something like this.
Amazing. Samer, go ahead.
Thank you. Networking is really a big debatable area. I will say HR are very introverts in general, and they don't like to network. Whoever is trying to network with them, they will find them closing the doors, maybe not replying. So job seekers always asking this question: how do we network with people who don't like to network? And this is the nature probably of HR, probably most of the time. So as Mr. Ahmed mentioned, network have a clear purpose. Networking is an added value that will help you to move from the big pool that's containing maybe 5,000 to a short list of 50, and then there's no guarantee to get an interview. That moment, HR will be looking at your resume and what you have written there. How did you present yourself? But at least you moved from the 5,000 to the 50. Networking also will not get you the job. What will get you the job? How you perform in the interview. But again, it shortens the way for you to show higher visibility to the HR people. Many people coming to me as a career coach to say, Samer, do you have connections with this company? Can you help me to get an interview? And I will say, if you have connections, you really don't need me. Go directly to your connection and they will hire you. If you come to me, I will help you to get better visibility without connections. There's thousands of companies. Maybe the maximum you have 5 connections. But when you have a strong presentation of your skills, you don't need that. And you can go directly to the system that's applying for jobs. I really wish all the job seekers the best. It's a journey. It's a big effort. There's a consistency in the effort, but finally the fruits will come, definitely.
Thank you, Samer. Ahmed, I have a couple of questions for you. Maybe, I don't know if this is something that you can answer. So you mentioned about the hiring decision. It could vary from a panel or from the hiring manager only, or maybe different criteria. Are we allowed to ask about how do they decide on the hiring before the interview, or we cannot ask about this as job seekers?
No, you can't, and you will not be able to get the right answer, because it depends. So, for example, usually we have a panel, But if we don't have the panel present, we can go on forward with 1 or 2 people only. We don't have to wait for the third, for example. So it's a policy. It's an internal policy. Usually the internal policies are not disclosed. It's internal, unless you have a referral, like a reference from the company, someone, an insider that you can ask. How do you take the decisions? Usually this is written in the hiring policy. Okay, but I don't think this is not public information. This is internal policies.
Okay, so the next question.
But again, I have never seen someone asking this question, but I would say there is no harm if you'd like to ask, honestly.
Okay.
And if they say no, they're right.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
So the next question is about the duration. Like, let's say if they told you, like, we'll answer you in 1 week or 10 days, and then they ghosted you. What would be, again, sending emails follow up, but if they don't reply the follow up, would I just assume that this is not coming, or what's again the best approach here? Because again, unfortunately, some job seekers get frustrated. They feel desperate. They feel depressed that oh, this is almost coming. They're waiting, and then oh, it's gone.
This is the reason why the Ontario has created this law, which is they have to notify the candidate by law right now. Okay, but not everyone is compliant with the law. So you find some people who would ghost you. They would not respond. They would maybe hire someone and not inform other people that we have already filled this position. So there is no harm if you'd like to follow up. If they keep ghosting you, you can check online, and you will be surprised that someone has already changed their title. Okay, once you see someone change their title to the same position, this means that it was hired, it was filled. But again, by law they have to. But again, not all are compliant. That's the problem. But do your best.
Awesome. Great. Maybe last question about, again, companies which do fake jobs opening, and again, I don't mean that they are doing fake. Maybe a better word is,
Cool.
Let's say, yeah, pool would be the answer. How can we identify if this is a pool or this is really an opportunity?
Again, honestly, you will not be able to identify unless they tell, and that's why the law now requires them to tell. Is it a pool or a vacancy? By law, they have to say, is it a pool or a vacancy? That's why the Working for Workers law has been drafted in Ontario. But you cannot tell. You can tell only if you see the posting for a long time and no one is hired. So for 3-4 weeks or like 1 or 2 months, and the same job posting, but no one was hired. So, but again, this is still not the 100% accurate judgment, because we had some postings for 2 or 3 months and we are still hiring. Because, for example, the hard to fill jobs, we keep them for 3-4 months and we keep hiring. We hired one and we need another one, and we hired 2 or 3 people. So it's not an accurate guesstimate, but again, you do your best as much as you can. But by law, recently, they have to tell. Better to ask them to give you the contact information in Ontario or in Canada, and you call them yourself to make sure that it's not a scam call. And to connect with the official page of the company, because this is verified, and make sure that this person is actually staff of the company.
Amazing, Ahmed. We can't thank you enough. I guess we had tons of wisdom. We really enjoyed it. I think there's another question. Okay, I have another recruiter to sign the representative permission. What do we do about representation? Whether it's
again. It's first of all, make sure that this is the right person, not a scam. This is the problem. Make sure that who you are signing and what you are signing on. Reach out to your lawyer. Reach out to someone, a professional person. It's not just like because you are desperate about a company or a job that you accept or sign on any document. Neil says, yeah, WhatsApp. Of course, WhatsApp and SMS. Oh my God, every day. We have an interesting job for a working from home job. You will get like thousands of dollars, and it's every day.
What shocks me is that they use a name that's not on the web page of the recruiter, but you go to the recruiting website or you reach out to them. And that's my advice, is go to the recruiter's website, reach out through their chat thing and ask if they've been doing that. And they're really, really good at getting back to you about that, because their reputation is on the line.
Exactly.
So
The
they're
image of the
desperately
company.
trying to fix this and fight this.
And that's why I said connect with the original page of the company. I've seen many companies responding to these emails or these messages, and they were they were on top of it because this is the reputation of the company they are caring about. We have a question and we have someone raising their hands.
Yeah, I think Zayed, go ahead. Maybe you can ask your question.
Thank you, Ahmed. Can you hear me okay, Ahmed?
Yes,
Yeah,
I hear you.
Sorry. So I just recently got hired. I'm very grateful into a full-time position in US. And my question is this, Ahmed, like I'm not sure what's the best way to navigate this situation. So when we were doing the counter offer, the market being the way it is, so I was nervous. So I have 15 plus years experience. I've like previously had much better um, success at negotiation, but this time around the company did not budge on the PTOs, and uh, the counter offer, they only came back with agreeing to a sign-on bonus of 5,000, but the salary stayed the same. Okay, so far so good, no regrets. Um, One thing they mentioned is for the next salary appraisal cycle, you would be considered eligible.
Yes.
HR has this line they say, and I'm not sure what's the best way to navigate this. Like in couple months, that cycle is going to start, and I just joined a week ago.
Yeah.
So one option I'm thinking is just sit quiet till 1 year is up and then have serious discussion. Or what do you suggest doing right now when this cycle comes up?
So first of all, because maybe I forgot to say this when I was talking about the negotiation. Before you negotiate, decide what you want. Decide your anchor. Decide your they call it BATNA, best alternative offer. So decide and make sure that you have all the data in front of you before you even give a counter offer, or even before you accept an offer from the company. So it's not like a one side that fits all. You think you know about your career. If this position is really interesting for your career or not, but now you accepted the offer, and congratulations for this offer. I would suggest that you wait for a year for many reasons. First of all, that you prove that you already deserve it. Your worth of being promoted or having your salary increase. If you now speak about salary increase after a couple of months, it's not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it unless the company is giving an increase for everyone, or if I don't think you had the right enough time to prove that you have sufficient or enough qualifications or competencies. So I would suggest that you wait until the year, at least 6 months or a year before you ask for an increase. And again, also the increase is based on the company's situation. I don't know. Some companies, they already don't have any room for increase. They are struggling in the market. I don't know. You know the company position better than me. If the company is already struggling, how would you ask for an increase if the company is already struggling? That's the problem. So you decide if you can do it or not based on your situation, your negotiation strength, and also the company's expectations and the company's from day one. What did you agree on? If you agreed on 1 year, you have to wait for 1 year. It's better to wait for at least a year before you negotiate. So I think negotiation is more complicated. But again, yeah, I prefer that you wait and have the strong position before you negotiate. Samir, would you like to add something?
Oh, thank you very much, Ahmed. Very, very strong, insightful you're giving, and looking from a different perspective, the employer and the job seekers, definitely. Negotiation is something really big and have a lot of different alternatives and options, and it should be taken based on case scenario. There's no one rule that I will say go and negotiate now, because there's a risk of losing the job offer. I would advise definitely, like a person who's getting now a job offer, let's say 90,000. So to get 100,000, that's a difference of 10,000. It's a big budget for the company, and it's worth an investing of your money now at this stage to spend to a person who can help with the negotiation. Come to an expert, to a coach, pay him some money. You might pay $500, $600, whatever, but that will gain you 10,000 extra for the next years, and that really a worthy investment. I will give a very quick hint for job seekers now, but they are taking the risk if they are at their own. So whenever you receive a job offer, don't panic. Just listen well. Start doing your research about the company. Ask what is the benchmark for this job? What is the company offering? What other resources in the company? And then study your enemy at this stage. You are in negotiation, yeah? And there's two parties. They want to pay you as less as they can to save off their budget because they already got all your skills and values and they want to pay the less. And this is my job as an HR. I am strong HR person because I can pay the lowest salary for every strong talent. Now, the other person, the job seeker, he should be a good negotiator to get the maximum out of me. And I am in a tough position as well as an HR person. If I don't get this candidate, I am in trouble. I might have spent 3 months to get this candidate to the company. So when the job seeker understands that, he can negotiate stronger and demand for more. But maybe also I am a strong HR person and I have alternative B and C plan. So the moment he start negotiating, I would say, thank you, we have another candidate. That's why negotiation, it's worthy. First question you ask after you receive a job offer, thank you for the job offer. I really appreciate you selecting me for the job. I enjoyed the interview. Is this negotiable? And if they say no, then yeah, you're limited with the negotiation. If they say yes, go ahead and play your games. Good luck for
And
everybody.
finally, sometimes guys, it's very cheaper for the company to negotiate with you than hire a new one. So this is only another point that you can use as in your favor if when you are negotiating. So, but again, it depends. It all depends. Okay.
Exactly. Thank you, Ahmed. And I've been working since now 20 years. I never accepted a job offer. I worked for almost now 12 companies. I always got a counter after my job offer. And sometimes once company, I signed for them, rejected and sign it and send it to them. And I got extra money.
Yeah.
But you need to know how to negotiate. You need to be a strong
Yes.
win-win.
Yes. We have Abdullah.
Yeah, Abdullah, go ahead. I think you have a question. Abdullah, if you can unmute and ask your question about the furlough, it's better that you share this yourself. We cannot hear you if you're speaking, Abdullah.
If you'd like to even type your question,
Hello.
Abdullah.
Can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes. Now we can hear you, yes. But there is echo. Go ahead.
Wait a minute.
Abdullah, you have two accounts.
Yeah, maybe he has two accounts, yeah. Or he's using the speaker of the laptop. So guys, again, regarding there is some, I think, Abdullah, you have to create from one of the users. You have two accounts.
Wait a minute. You can hear me now?
Yes.
Now it's better,
clear
yes.
now.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, Abdullah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, everybody. First, I wanna thank everybody for this input. It's very valuable for me since I'm on a stage of finding another job. So I have a lot of questions in my mind, but mainly I just posed a question regarding the furlough. A furlough is like unpaid leave. The company put me in this stage under they found for me an internal job. Actually, I wanna my question is that if because I may having like an interview in a couple of days, it's already scheduled, and I want to make sure that I'm able to answer the question regarding my current status for if I'm unemployed or I'm unpaid leave or in the company. That's make me like confused about what the best answer to answer the recruit the new company or the new employer. And
So, Abdullah, let me clarify the question, make sure that I understand your question correctly. So you have been off work for a while, and you will be interviewed soon, and you would like to know how you can answer the question. What have you been doing this time, right?
yeah, so the company, now my company, they decide to put me in something is called furlough. For me, it's a new, first time I passed this one. I used to go with like when I worked for Apple a long time ago as a contractor, They put me on like 3 months. They paid me everything, and after that, they turn me to the unemployment. So this company, they doing different here in Massachusetts. They put you on furlough, unpaid leave. You still with the company pool, but you don't get any hour
Yes.
weekly hour to be paid. They just keep you like standby. And that's I don't know if I'm still. They said, "Oh, you're still with us, but you are on unpaid leave." So every week, I need to submit an unpaid leave hours on the time and the timesheet of the time card of the company. And my question is, if I'll get an interview, and the guy said, "What's your status at the moment? What I can answer? I'm with the company or without the company?" That's my.
Yeah.
I'm just confusing. Yeah.
So it's this is similar to what we have in Ontario. In Ontario, we call it a layoff, temporary layoff, which means you are laid off by the company, but you are still under the recall in the recall list, and like you are part of the recall list. Anytime they can recall you for work. Okay, but for in Ontario, it's considered layoff. It's considered like you are not working. You are unemployed. Okay, but you are under their recall list, which means whenever they have work, they will recall you for work. This is like a guarantee kind of job, which is you are in an unpaid leave, laid off temporarily. When we have job, we will call you back. Okay, this is in Ontario. We call it temporary layoff, and after this you get recalled. It's a similar situation. So it's in the legal situation. I don't know the legal situation in the US, but you are not considered working. You are under the in the list of recall, but you are considered not working, or you are not employed. But you are employed with this company. You are laid off. This is the status in the legal status. You are laid off. Okay. But if you ask about the new company, if you're going to a different company, you mean Abdullah or what?
Yes.
So you can tell them I'm laid off temporarily, permanently. Sorry, temporarily, temporary layoff, which means that you are not working right now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But again, it's if you need a legal advice from the US, it's better that you get like a legal advice. But that's the law in Canada and Ontario right here.
Can I add something?
Yeah,
Yes,
I think we'll take Shabir's question as the last question. I want to give.
I have just one question. Can you give me a time, please?
Okay, go ahead, Abdullah. Final one.
So some of the company, when they wrote the job description, they mentioned salary rate like from, for example, 60 to 90 or from 60 to 100. While I'm looking more than that, because the state where I lived, the life cost is higher than what they offer. Especially if you're gonna live like around the city of you, or you wanna make commute sometime as a hybrid. So what we gonna do in this situation? If this job is match my career, and I'm suitable, I'm comfortable to this one, and I love this job. What are we gonna do in this situation? Do we wanna tell them that it's open to discuss or negotiation, or what exactly we wanna do?
Sorry, is it about the relocation or what? I'm so sorry, I didn't
No,
understand.
I'm talking about the salary. The company, some company, they offering a limitation from to a salary.
Yeah, and even the higher range is not up to your expectations.
No, even though it's less about maybe 30% of what life costs.
I don't think it's the right
minimum.
position for you. I don't think it's the right position for you. I don't think you will be able to negotiate more than the higher salary ceiling, and even if you negotiate, not 30%. It's tough.
So tough. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think Shabir, you're the last question. Before we end up here, I want to give back the Sunday to everybody. You know, this is definitely an amazing discussion, and everybody's excited to ask questions. Maybe we'll ask Ahmed to come back for different,
sure.
more sessions. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Go ahead, Shabir.
Sure. So this is not my question actually. What Abdullah was saying is regarding that that what he's going through is called furlough, and I have been through this furlough when I was working in IBM Canada. So what it is basically, just to give you an idea, like, what it is, they are working, we were working in a project, and the work is slow. So what they ask us to do that, like, take furlough time, and that furlough time means, like, we will be the employee, but there is no payment, like, we cannot charge any hours like that. So I cannot say, like, my company, my job is done. I'm still with that same employer, but I cannot, like, go and then I can go and then find another job, and then I have to get, like, resign from my company IBM. So something like that, just to give you, share you with my experience. So
that's the layoff in Ontario. It's the same concept. Temporary layoff.
okay.
Okay, guys. Any other questions, Ahmed?
I think we're good. Definitely a ton of wisdom, Ahmed. Thank you so much. This is really amazing. I personally learned a lot. I'm seeing, lots of thanks on the chat
Thank
too.
you, guys. My pleasure.
We definitely learn a lot, and we definitely will ask you to come back, hopefully,
sure.
in the next few weeks. Guys, this call is every Sunday, the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern, the same link. So if you want to join us next week, we have also Eleni. She's a professional recruiter. She's going to join us next week. So she will share tons of wisdom about, how recruiters work. And definitely you can reach out to Ahmed. I would highly
you can reach out to
recommend.
me anytime. I think if Khalid, if you have any question, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and you can shoot me an email anytime.
Yes. And again, if you want to send kudos and recommendation to Ahmed, definitely he's doing this from his heart, from his Sunday, from his family time. Tons of it. As you see, Ahmed is very excited and very passionate about his field, and he's definitely has a ton of experience. So thank you so much, Ahmed. We really enjoyed it. I'll upload this to YouTube as well. So if you want to, check it out on YouTube, this will be on the Future Career channel on YouTube. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Thank you so much, Neil, Samer, and everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Samer.
Have a great day.
Have a great
Have a great everybody.
Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.